What is up, YouTube? I am Afakasi Raider doing another video recap of the Pacific Nations Cup. This time it's the round 2 matchup between the Lakapi Samoa and our brothers from the Pacific, the Ikale Tahi from Tonga. I actually caught this game a little late. I was in the middle of doing some things. I had to catch up with the game at the 15-minute mark, and when I did catch up, I think we were already down 6 points. We would end up going the Tongans would end up going up 18-3 at one point. The Tongans came out with a lot of energy. It seemed like they'd done a little bit of soul searching after their crushing defeat to the Flying Fijians in their round 1 opener. So shout outs to them. They seemed to play with a lot of energy, and they were flustering us. We were frustrated, and we just looked really lethargic up until maybe that 30-minute mark, which is where I think we scored our first try. So yeah, so the Samoans, it took them a little while to get their composure and start to gel properly and start putting just putting the basics together. But once they did, I don't believe the Tongans scored again. They were up 18-3 at one point, but as you can see by the final score down below, we ended up winning 34 points to 18. We would score 5 straight tries, maybe a penalty or 2. I can't remember, but once we did start to cohese better, and maybe we brought in a few replacements which might have helped that, we started to be able to put it together, and that's when the points started to come through. So the main feature of today's game, as it was last week when we played Australia A, was that driving maul from the line out. That's definitely been probably the most impressive thing I've seen from the last 2 weeks, is how well they've been able to get that up to the level that they've been playing, utilizing it. I mean, this is a feature of Samoa's game. Like, set piece has been the bane of our pretty much of our existence for the last two decades. I've been a fan. I mean, there's been few and far times in that period where either our scrum or our liner has been serviceable at best. And mind you, the scrum is still a little shaky. The liner has been at a world-class level the last 2 weeks. I mean, we've scored, forgive me if I'm wrong, it's been 4 tries of that driving maul, which they've been utilizing to massive effect. So shout out to the coaching staff, Selala Mapasua, head coach. I noticed we also have as assistants Tom Coventry and Tanu Manga, I've noticed on the TV when I'm watching. But yeah, I mean, nothing flash again from the Samoan team. We're just playing basic rugby, just getting the basics right, trying to retain the ball and keep the phases coming. So, you know, in the back line, there's nothing flash, nothing flamboyant, but it's a forward play for me that's been impressive. Like I said, I already touched up on the driving maul. The players that impressed me the most was Ray Nuia, who got the start this week. He was coming off the bench last week, but he took that starting role and he ended up scoring 3 tries and he directed that driving maul very effectively. So kudos to him. And Chris Vui, who's been the main man at the line out. Apparently he's been running a tear through that European League with his professional club team, Bristol Bears. And it's been good to see that he's been able to translate that well, playing on the international scene for us. So Chris Vui, he's been a standout, as he was the last game against the Australia A. Another guy who impressed me was Michael Curry, who came off the bench. I was really impressed by him. He was doing well at the breakdown, and I noticed when he was running with the ball, he was running effectively. But the one play that really impressed me was when the Tongans had a driving maul going, and he was able to swim his way through legally to the back and ended up, I think he tackled the player legally down and brought the driving maul, which was able to cause the turnover, which ended up, I believe, setting up us in field position, which we end up scoring from. So shout out to him. He's a guy that I look forward to seeing more of. I believe that was his debut. AJ Olitimu, he had a pretty good game. His kicking was good. I believe he may have missed one penalty, but outside of that, maybe a conversion, he was okay. I did notice that the service from the halfback position was a little off this game. I think Taumatini, he had a good game last week, but there were times I noticed that when he was trying to get that ball at the back of the ruck, there was a few miscues. So I'm hoping that gets cleaned up. The scrum, again, like it was against Australia A, it is a vulnerability that I'm hoping can get worked out. I mean, that's 2 games in a row where it's just looked really, really shaky, and we've been giving away penalties. The Flying Fijians, they're not so much known more for their forward play, more for their flair in the back line, as we know, but still, it's something that I hope gets cleaned up, especially later on down the year, as well as when we get eventually to get to the World Cup, because that's an area which will be a point of attack for these bigger teams. But as a whole, I'm happy again. That's 2 from 2, 2 wins in a row. The midfielder Manu, I like that try, the read from him, where he was able to come off the line, snatch the ball out of the air, run it, take it to the house for the try. That was another standout play from today's game. But I'm happy. I want that same energy from start to finish. Not 20 minutes, 30 minutes into it. We can't afford to do that. But I'm glad that they were able to get it together, come away with a big win against our Pacific Island brothers from Tonga. We have a big game next week. It'll be our final for the Pacific Nations Cup against the Flying Fijians, who I believe lost today against the team we beat in Australia A. But that team is no joke. We know what they're capable of with ball in hand. When they get it out wide, they have speed, flair, and guile for days. And if we allow them any kind of space, if we don't kick it well against those guys and broken play, we know what they're capable of. They will cut us to pieces. And to be honest, I don't believe we have the speed and the flair out wide to match the Fijians, but we can beat them by keeping it basic, frustrating them, utilizing our strengths in that forward pack, especially with that line out, that driving more. I believe we can utilize to great effect against the Fijians. I haven't watched too much of them lately, but again, like I said, they're more known for their good speed and flare out wide rather than their forward play. So I'm hoping that's an area we can expose. Look forward to the game. Big shout out to the coaching staff for getting the team up to scratch, and the team is doing well. 2 from 2, building upon their win last week versus Australia A, with another win against our Pacific brothers, the Ikale Tahi from Tonga. So one last shout out to the Manusina. The girls had a good win today. I believe they beat the Tonga female rugby team. So another good win. It's good to have the Samoan team in the winner's circle across the board. I know their sevens team has been doing okay of late. So, yeah, it's positive signs. Like I said, hopefully in the last video, hopefully this is a new era for Samoan rugby. Early days, but so far signs are good. So leave your comment down below. Subscribe, all of that. Let me know what you think of the game. I'm Afakasi Raider. I will make another video after next week's big matchup against Fiji. Until then, Tai Lava Fa, and I will catch you at the next video. Take care.
Le malosi, male mimita.